Hello, so the full moon in Taurus is coming, and it will be exact on Friday, November 15th at 1:28 p.m. Pacific time. And that full moon in Taurus means that we have an opposition between the moon and the sun. So the moon is in the sign of Taurus, and the sun is in the sign of Scorpio. Prior to this full moon, Saturn will be stationing direct after having been retrograde since the end of June of 2024, and it will be stationing direct in the morning, in the early morning, about 6 a.m. Pacific time. And it is in the sign of Pisces. And then just a couple hours after the exact full moon on Friday, there will be a conjunction between the moon and Uranus. So conjunction meaning that they will be at the exact same place in the sky, the same sign, same degrees, same area. So in order, we have the Saturn stationing direct in the morning in Pisces. Then we have the exact moment of the full moon at about 1:28 Pacific time, and then we have the Uranus conjunction at around 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, depending on your time zone. All of this to say, the Saturn direct. All of this to say, Saturn going direct and Uranus conjunct are very much a part of this full moon, so we have to take into consideration all aspects. To open it up a little bit, we can also see that we had a Mercury square to Saturn happening on Tuesday, so just a few days ago, and Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius, Saturn again is in the sign of Pisces. Then we are coming up to a sun opposing Uranus on Saturday. So we kind of know that's going to happen because we have the full moon where the moon and the sun are opposite each other at the exact same degrees. Then the moon conjoins with Uranus, and then the sun conjoins with Uranus. So they're basically both coming up to this interaction with Uranus. The interesting thing also about Mercury and Saturn being in a square is that Mercury is in its pre-retrograde shadow just about, so it's going to be going retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius on November 25th, and Saturn is pretty much just about to turn direct. And if we open it up even wider, of course, we have the upcoming Pluto Ingress, or entering into the sign of Aquarius for the final time in probably our lifetimes, unless someone comes up with a way that we're going to live for 248 years. This is probably the only time, the last week, the last few days really, that we will ever experience Pluto in Capricorn. So those Capricornian themes and those Plutonian, really intense Plutonian desires are really pushing at these last degrees of Capricorn. They're really, not wanting to go down without a fight, so to speak. So we have Pluto going into Aquarius next Tuesday, and we also had a pretty intense Mars-Pluto opposition, which, I don't know, depending on your birth chart, you may still be feeling. I know personally that the Mars-Pluto opposition is really going to play out for a while for me, because Pluto is almost about to just go across my rising sign, my ascendant, and so and Mars is in the sign of my descendant. Anyways, it's playing out personally for me, that's for sure. And then that Mars is in its pre-retrograde shadow and in the retro shade, so that Mars is going to be turning retrograde December 6th, and so it's kind of already slowing down and preparing us for the really big review period that it's going to take us through from pretty much now until, honestly, almost May. It might, ease up a little bit in kind of like February, but to be honest, it's also already started in October, and then the retro shade will be over in something like May. So there's a lot happening